All right. So, so we are working on this bird strike incident. So we are gonna like take a few steps first, and then like create the pivot tables. So first, what we want to do, we want to like use the like create a new column here. Okay. Using the phase of the flight. We want to create a new column, true phase of flight. There are like different like phase of the flight that these incidents happen. Instead of using them, we want to create like four columns or like four categories or five categories and use them in our like pivot tables later. So we want to say if the phase of the flight is en route or approach, we'll categorize it as in flight. If it is landing, landing roll or descent, we'll categorize it as landing. If it is either takeoff run, departure, or climb, we'll categorize it as takeoff. If it is taxi, park, we'll categorize it as grounded. This way we have a more actual phase or true phase of the flight that this incident happened. So let's just start. So we want to see, okay, we want to create this column using the conditions. We want to check the value of like phase of the flight. And in this case, because we want to check if it is either en route or approach, we'll categorize it as in flight. So we use or to check what is the value of true phase of flight. Okay. So what is the true phase of flight? If it is en route, okay, it is en route or H2 is equal to approach. Okay, so if it is either en route or approach, close the parentheses for or, add the comma, then you can specify what should happen. So if either of this is, so either if it is en route or approach, we'll categorize it as in flight. Okay, we'll categorize it as in flight. Otherwise, now if then or, right? So H2 is equal to landing row, or H2 is equal to descent. Oh, I forgot this. Landing row, H2 is equal to descent. Then close the parentheses, add the comma, should be categorized as landing. Okay, should be categorized as landing. Otherwise, if, again, or, okay, or H2 is equal to takeoff run, or H2 is equal to departure, or H2 is climb. Then close parentheses. Okay. So if it is takeoff run or departure or climb, then we'll categorize it as okay. So we'll categorize it as takeoff. Okay. Otherwise, again, if or This time we want to check either it's taxi, park, local, or arrival. So H2 is taxi, is equal to taxi, or is parked. H2 is equal to local. H2 is equal to arrival. Okay. Close the parentheses. So this one we it's taxi, parked, or local, or arrival, then we'll categorize it as grounded. We'll categorize it as grounded. Otherwise, we can categorize it as blank. Okay. Then we can count how many ifs we have, so we know how many like close parentheses we need. We have like 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need 4 close parentheses, and that will give us the end of the formula. Let me make sure that it is correct. Okay, then I will show you again the formula. Yes. In this type of like creating this type of columns, always double check. Like if you see an error, double check if you place the text inside double quotation, if you close the parentheses at the right place, if you added the comma, if you like inside or and, you're just like checking the value of that cell. Okay, you're checking the value of that cell to specify what should be the value for that to be like this happen. Like if the condition is true, um, what action should be taken. So in this case, we are just categorizing them. So we'll name this true phase of flight. True phase of flight. All right. Now, the true phase of flight. Let's work on the next column. So this time you want to create a new column. You want to categorize it as danger level. This time, now we are using the true phase of flight. So if it is, it happened in the takeoff, we'll categorize it. If it happened in landing or grounding, both of them, this is like a mistake in the text. Both of them will be categorized as minimal danger. If it is in flight, then it will be categorized as medium danger. I will update that later. So what we want to do, we want to create a new column, danger level. Okay. So we want to say if, okay, if true phase of flight is takeoff. Okay, if it is takeoff, then it will be considered as high danger. Okay, if it is it will be categorized as high danger. Otherwise, if again, this is a mistake. So like landing or grounded, they will be categorized as minimal danger. So in that case, I'm using or to check if I2 is equal to either landing or I2 is equal to grounded. Okay, I2 is equal to grounded. Close the parentheses, then we will categorize it as minimal danger. Minimal danger. Otherwise, okay, if I2 is equal to in flight, okay, in flight, then we'll categorize it as medium danger. Okay. Oh, okay, medium danger. Okay, medium danger. Otherwise, just categorize it as blank. Or sorry, no data. No data. So basically, if it's blank, no data. Then we have 1, 2, 3 ifs. So we add 3 close parentheses. Yes. What? Oh, this one? So we have 3 ifs. So we added like 3 parentheses at the end. Okay. Count the ifs to see how many parentheses at the end you want to add. In flight. So let me double check this. Takeoff, in flight, landing. Okay. Yes. Yes. Landing and grounded or in flight. So in flight is medium danger. This is like a mistake here in the code. I will update it. Like landing and grounded are minimal danger. Both of them are minimal danger, and it's like only in flight is considered medium danger. Okay. This is like a should be again, this should be minimal, so my bad. That's why I only have like landing and grounded. Check either of them, then we'll categorize it as minimal danger. All right. Let's save this and see what is the next step. Okay, so we have two more steps to go. Let's actually just first create the month and then create the season. Okay, so first we want to like create a month or like incident month, incident month. I will like put like a inside parentheses text. Just in case we already have incident month. Column here, incident month, that shows us like in terms of numbers. If you want to show it in month, what we can do is like we can use the text function, okay, right? We can use the text function, extract, use the text function to extract from the incident date. Can use the incident date and then add a comma and here specify that we are extracting month. We're extracting month. Okay. And then This will give us the incident month. For month, you use like 4m's. For year, if you're extracting year, you just like add 4y's to extract year if you're using this function. All right. For season, we can create another quick column. We can type season. Okay. The season that it happened. We're just gonna use like the instruction here. So we want to say if or right. I want to say if it is like 1, 2, or 3, just categorize them as winter. So if what column we are gonna use this incident month, okay, incident month. So if E2 is equal to 1, or E2 is equal to 2, or E2 is equal to 3, then okay, close the parentheses, add comma, but this would be a winter. Okay, winter. So we are using the incident month that had the numbers. Okay, we are using the incident month that had the numbers for this column. Okay, winter. Otherwise, if or E2 is equal to 4, or E2 is equal to 5, or E2 is equal to 6. Okay, 5 and 6. Then let's categorize this as a string. Otherwise, if or E2 is equal to 7, E2 is equal to 8, 2 is equal to 9, if and that should be summer. Otherwise, this will be fall. At the end, we have 3 ifs, so we're going to add 3 parentheses to close the close the quick irrelevant fact about this thing. So I'm originally from Iran, and like in Iran, our year starts from the first day of a spring. So we like the first day of the spring is our first day of the year every year. It's different. So I was like looking at numbers, they didn't make sense to me, but that's it. So that's about it. Like that's the difference. And it's based on a different way than like calculating how you have your like the calculations. Every year it goes 6 hours towards towards like moves further. So every 4 years it moves 1 day. And it's based on like it's so many complicated things that I don't know, but it's like for 2,000 years, that's how it is calculated, based on how it starts. But first day of a spring is the first day of the year. This one. Okay. Um, good. All right. So let's see. All right. So, coming back to what we have here. So what we created like like 4 new columns. We created the true phase of flight. We created the danger level column, created the incident month and season. Now for each record, again, make sure that like what we have is like for each record, now what we see for each incident, for each record is one incident. For each incident, we are seeing the incident month, we are seeing the operator, like the airplane or like the operator that like this happened like to the phase of that flight, that this incident, the bird is and of like sun. So now that we have the data, what we can do, we can actually move on to creating the pivot tables. So save this. So on Wednesday, we talk about pivot tables. Now let's also review everything that we talked before. We can go to the Insert tab and click on pivot tables to create a pivot table. Pivot table, we are using it to summarize the results. So we have the data set, we have prepared the data columns. We've done this in Access when we were creating like total queries. We've done this in Tableau when we were creating charts. Like showing like for like different categories, then we would show like results of calculations. Here we are using like a pivot table for the same purpose. Every time you're creating pivot table, make sure that you like it covers like your complete table, and also like you're creating it in a new worksheet. Okay, new worksheet. Okay, so in pivot table, just a quick review, you have these like 4 boxes. Each one of them have a specific purpose. So for rows, when we're summarizing the results for specific categories. So if you have a category, we drag it to rows. If we have only one category, just drag it to rows. If you have more category, drag one to rows, one to columns. For example, if you're looking for each estate in each month, total sales. So you have 2 categories. One, drag it to rows, one drag it to columns. How about the values? That's the only place where you drag the columns that you use for calculations. So only drag columns that you use for calculations. You're taking average, total, like summing the results. Records. That's about it. That's the only place you drag the columns that you can use like they're numeric, or it's just a unique identifier where you use it for counting the records. You drag it to values. How about filters? That's the one that we use like to filter the result, but we don't want to show for it like for each one of them in the result table. So we're just like filtering the result. If that's the case, we can drag a column to filters and then apply that filter. We can see examples later. So first question, create a pivot table that to display the total number of incidents recorded in each state. In this case, so for each state, we are looking for total number of incidents. So we have the state. Where should we drag it? If there is first, we are going to start one. If there is one, we are going to drag it to rows. Okay. If there is more than one, then drag the second one to columns. Okay. If you have more than one category, you're looking for a category, and then you want to show a result of a calculation. So for each state, we are looking for total number of incidents. Like we said, if we are counting the records like related to a specific category, usually we use a column that like kind of uniquely identifies every record in the table. In this case, we can see that like in index NR, like uniquely, it's a number assigned to every incident. So let's use that, drag it to values. That's where we always drag the columns that we use for calculation. Then make sure to check your calculation and see if it is correct. We are not looking to add up those values. Those are random numbers. Like the sum of them doesn't mean anything, right? And like we can see that the numbers actually are very big. Just indicates that it is not correct. We are looking for using it to count the records. So click on this and change the function to count, we are just counting the records related to every category. In this case, for each state. We want to show for each state total number of incidents. Okay, for each state, we want to see total number of incidents. Now, looks good. Okay. So for each state, we want to see total number of incidents. Then we can sort the results to see like a states with the highest number of incidents. So if we click on the table, go to the data tab, you will see like the sorts in the middle. Then just click on Z2A to be able to sort the results. This way we can see that like the states, okay, so from the data tab. States with the highest number of incidents, like bird strikes, California, Texas, Florida. These are top 3 states with the highest number of incidents. There are so many bird strikes in California. This is very dangerous. Okay, so this was our Q1, or at least pivot tables. All right. We can go back to to the table. We can create a new pivot table so we can work on the next question. So in the next question, what we are looking for is creating a pivot table to show total number of incidents recorded in each season for each airline. Sort the results for descending order and show the top 20. Again, so look for what is the category so that you're showing the results for. So how many categories we have? We are looking for each airline in each season, total number of incidents, right? For each airline in each season. So that means we have 2 categories. So we can since we have rows and columns, we can drag one to rows, one to columns. Which one? Usually the rows is the one that you want to inform, provide the information for. In this case, we want to it would be better if we show for each airlines in each season, total number of incidents. So for each airline means the operator, we can drag it to rows, okay? For each airline. For each airline in each season, we created the season, season, so we can drag it to columns, okay? So we can see that for each operator, the season, and then we can show now total number of incidents. Total number of incidents, so we can drag this again, that field that we used, we can drag it there, and again it is using sum. By default we need to change it to count. Okay, we need to change it to count. So for each operator or for each airplane or airline, for each season, now we can see total number of incidents. Let's click on the grand total, that column, and then I will go to the data tab and click on sort the results so we can have sorted results for the operators with the highest number of incidents. We can see that Southwest Airlines has the highest number of incidents in most of the or in all the seasons. In each season, the highest number of incidents happen with this operator. Now, what we want to do, we want to only filter the results for top 20. Okay. How do we apply that? In rows label here, click on the down arrow. Okay, click on the down arrow. you will see by label and by values. Okay, by value. In the by value section, this could be a little bit different, like if you're using online version or like an older version of Excel. Look for this by values and then top 10 by values and then top 10. Then let's set this to 20. Top 20. Okay. So again, what you can do is click on this down arrow, go to by values, and then from here, select top 10, and then specify the number of records that you're looking for. So we can see top 20 airlines with the highest number of incidents. We can compare them for each season as well. All right, so this is Q2. Sometimes I see like people like show the results in this way. Since we already have like two sites, just like use both of them efficiently. This way it's much more informative than like showing it in this version, which looks like you're kind of like creating a hierarchy, and we don't want to like have it since we already have the rows and columns. I wouldn't do this way again because like the number of like airplanes is much or operators is much higher, so you will have a lot of columns to check. So the best way to show it is just drag season to columns. This way you have limited number of columns, and then the rows can show us the operator. So how about the filter? If I was asking you, for example, show these results for a state of Florida, then that would mean that we need to drag a state to filters, and then from here, just select that state, okay? One of these state, if we were looking for a specific state, then we would just like look for that state. So that's what is different about the filter. The filter, you're just, okay, you need to drag it to filters and then exactly specify it, but it doesn't show it like in the other columns. Okay, so save this, and then we can create a new, oh, not new sheet. We are gonna create, let me delete this. Create a new pivot table. Okay, create a new pivot table. In this question, what we are looking for is to create a pivot table to display the percentage of total incidents for each danger group. So what we did, we created the danger like group level or danger level category. Again, so what we are looking for is for danger level, right? So we are going to drag it to rows. In this case, there is only one, so we drag it to rows. For each danger level, you want to count the number of incidents. You can drag this column and then change the measurement to count. Change the measurement to count. So this shows us total number of incidents for each danger level. Now, we want to show the results as a percentage, not a number. If you recall, we talked about this. We can click on this I or sign here. Okay. Here we have two tabs. Okay, summarize by and show data as. Okay. Summarize by shows you the count. Oh, quick review, like or recall number. What we do, we use number in case in a question you've been asked to show the result as a like a currency. you can click on the number and go to currency and like change the format. Here's the number, so we don't change anything. So count. Now click on show data as. Here, there is no calculation. Click on no calculation and change it to percentage of grand total. That's how we can show the results as a percentage, not as a number. Okay, so as a percentage, and then click to show as a percentage. And going here, show data as, and then grand total. Okay. Thing is very no. Okay. Now let's work on the other question, which is our last question. So I want to create a new pivot table. Okay, new pivot table. Let me give you 2 minutes to work on this query or question, and then we can work on it. So you're creating a pivot table to compare total number of incidents recorded in each month between for Florida and Vermont. So you want to show the results for Florida and Vermont, and for each month, total number of incidents. You don't need to work on the create chart. We're just like working on creating the pivot table. So that's about it. We don't need to create the chart here. Okay, so what we want to do, we want to show total number of each month for two of these states, Florida and Vermont. So technically we have two categories here. Okay, I will drag a state to rows. Why? Because I want to show up like for each state, or like only for two states. So for Florida and Vermont. So I have the states here, and then for each like per month. So I have the month here, incident month. I can drag it to columns. Again, don't do this to create like a hierarchy. Okay, you have like two options. So drag the other one to columns. You're creating a table. So now we have month and then state. What we are looking for, total number of incidents. So we can drag incidents to values, and we need to change the measure, like change the calculation to count. Okay, change the calculation to count. So what we did, we drag a state here, incident month, and then for each month, for each state, total number of incidents. Now, last step, we are only looking for comparing Florida versus Vermont. Okay, so we can click on this down arrow here. Okay, For the rows, click on this down arrow, unselect this. Now we can select two states, Florida, okay, Florida and Vermont. It is VT, right? VT, okay. Vermont. Okay, so I use this filter here to like filter only for two states, so we can compare number of incidents between these two states. All right, what we see here is that like number of incidents on each month is much higher in Florida compared to Vermont. Okay, that's good. Good. The other questions are mostly is about like which state has the highest number of incidents. This is looking at the pivot tables we created to like can produce that insight. Okay, now we can see that California, Texas, and Florida have the highest number of incidents. Based on the second pivot table we created, we can identify or we can see that which operators have the highest number of incidents. In this case, Southwest Airlines has the highest number of incidents in each season. And in terms of like danger level, we can see that like around like 40 medium danger. Okay, this result kind of looks not correct to me, so let me check this high danger. Let's take off high danger. Landing or grounded, minimal danger. It is in flight, medium danger, otherwise no data. Okay. So take off, landing, grounded. It is grounded. Minimal danger. Flight. For some reason, somewhere, I think, probably with this thing, we made a mistake somewhere. I'm not sure. Medium danger shouldn't be like 1%. I can check it. Probably just like the comparison, like, I mean, maybe the space are different. I can check it. Okay, but that was like checking like for each danger level, what percentage of like incidents are related to each danger level. And then for each state we compare for each month, or at least for two of these states, Florida and Vermont. Okay, that's about it for today. Okay, so make sure to save your file and upload it. So with that, let me stop this recording first.